Kristi Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and timesunion.com, and welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with someone previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today we are joined by Giuliana Bruno. Giuliana is a morning reporter at News10 ABC, WTEN. Hi, Giuliana. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Kristi. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited too because I loved your original 20 Things. I can't believe it was almost 2 years ago and that you've been at Channel 10 for almost 2 years.
I know, it really flew by.
It really, especially that year of the pandemic that just feels like it disappeared for all of us. But we will get an update on a couple of your original things. We'll learn some new things about you, and then we'll play a little game at the end. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. So I remember in your original one, you talked about how you had interviewed Norman Lear while you were at Emerson College. And I think recently you had another experience there too, right?
That's correct. So when I was in my senior year at Emerson, I had the best time interviewing Norman Lear, who created basically the American sitcom, the idea of it, and a lot of those famous ones we talk about, like All in the Family and Maude. So recently I was contacted by the same production team at Emerson that put together that interview and that whole day in his honor to come back and interview President Lee Pelton, who is the president of Emerson, who is leaving after a long tenure at the school. And, they said they remembered my Norman Lear interview and they thought I did a great job. And I actually interviewed the president on that same day. And so they said, we would love if you would come back and do his sort of exit interview that we'll show to the Board of Trustees and the school community. And I got to go back into the studio on campus where I did all of the campus TV shows that essentially launched me to where I am now. So it was really great to kind of have an excuse to go back to Boston and see the campus and catch up with people. And to also know that, my time there was valued enough where they'll bring me back as an alumni to do these things. So that'll come out soon, and I'm excited for that.
Well, I also think that's pretty impressive because you're just a few years out of college, and typically you think of people who are like 10, 20, even 30 years out being called back, but just a couple of years out and you made such an impact with the school and with the president that you're invited back. So that's very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm really lucky.
Yeah. I know another update you had, you're a dancer, right? You had performed in the Park Playhouse, so you're a local girl growing up, and you've kind of been working on your dance skills in the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, so theater was a huge part of my background in growing up, and, I did all of it. I did the plays and the dance classes and singing lessons, and my parents, God bless them for driving me around everywhere I had to go. But I decided when I came back to Albany, I didn't want to kind of lose those interests just because now I have, this full-time job. So the dance studio, Barber School of Dance that I grew up dancing with, asked if I would like to come back and teach a couple classes. So now one night a week, I teach hip hop and lyrical dance to young students. And it's just again, kind of the similar theme to the other thing we were talking about, to go back to somewhere that is so responsible to getting you where you are and being able to kind of help that next generation is just so amazing. And it's keeps me in shape and it keeps me, happy and doing something that I love. And yeah, it's just the best side hustle I could ask for.
What is your favorite style of dance, would you say?
I would have to say my favorite style of dance is actually just like kind of musical theater dance, which I don't teach. But that's just, we do offer that course to our other students. And I always like to go in and watch that class. And maybe next year I'll pick up a class in that, but definitely that Broadway style is my favorite.
Well, it's interesting. You mentioned theater, and your first new thing involves one of your colleagues, Stephanie Rivas, who we had as she was a 20 Things You Don't Know About Me just a couple of weeks ago. And if I remember correctly, she was big into theater in college as well. So what did you do with her recently, and what was kind of a pivotal moment in your career?
So I had my anchoring debut on Christmas morning. So our Christmas morning shows, which, was a special day. We did a lot of fun, positive stories, and it was my first time anchoring, and I had Stephanie by my side, which was great. We obviously have a lot to talk about and bond over. And, it was just definitely a really proud day for me. I'm 22 years old and I'm already getting an opportunity to fill in anchoring in my hometown, the station I grew up watching. So that was a really special day. And then just a couple of weekends ago, I filled in Saturday and Sunday morning for Stephanie, and anchored by myself, which was also really cool.
Was your whole family watching on Christmas morning? Did they get up? Some people get up for the presents. Everyone's going to get up. You and your family for Giuliana to watch your desk debut, your anchoring debut.
Yeah. I had my parents and my brother and my whole extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, all got up to watch me. And my grandma, who lives in Florida, who every morning that I'm working, she's watching the News 10 live stream on her phone. She gets up and starts watching at 4:30 every morning. So I have a big support squad out there. And they were definitely all watching Christmas morning.
So you talk about only being 22, already having had your chance to fill in as anchor. You also had another big career, kind of a milestone, covering probably what is one of, if not the biggest story in the Capital Region, one of the biggest stories in the Capital Region in the last decade for sure. And you were really active in reporting on that. What was that about?
So I went to New York City to cover both Claire Bronfman and Keith Raniere's sentencings in the fall. Claire's was first, which was definitely good because it's still important to the whole story of NXIVM, right? She's this Seagram's heiress who's kind of the money behind it all. But it was nice to kind of get my feet wet with that story before then going to Keith's. I want to say it was about a month later, might have been a little more than that. Yeah, again, another one of those things that I had been following while I was in college. And I always admired Ayla Ferrone, who used to be a reporter at Channel 10. When I was an intern, I worked closely with her a lot and she became sort of a mentor to me. And she was our NXIVM reporter. So it was really cool to kind of take the reins on that once she left. And of course, I'm like on the phone with her, getting her advice. And actually the crew from HBO, The Vow, was there, both at Claire and Keith's sentencings. And they were definitely recording me during a couple of my live shots. So if you watch that show and see me in season 2, that would be really cool, but who knows, we'll see. But it was a great experience. One of the best experiences I've ever had covering something.
Now, did you get an interview? Did you get any kind of comments from Keith or Claire, or did their lawyers just usher them right into the courthouse and not let them speak to any reporters?
Well, so with Claire, I believe, I can't remember if she was rushed out or not, but with Keith, he was remanded immediately. So we didn't see him come out. And also with COVID, it complicated things. Like I was not physically in the courtroom with either of them. A bunch of reporters, we were all in overflow courtrooms watching on a live feed. So that didn't really happen, but I interviewed, several of the survivors, including Barbara Boucher, who, she's from the Capital Region. And again, like seeing someone like that who you watch on season 1 of The Vow, you hear about her, you talk to her on the phone, but then seeing her in person at this really pivotal point for her, it was really cool. I got to interview some of the big players in that.
Very nice. Now, moving from career to personal, you're going to be in your first wedding, right? A bridesmaid or maid of honor?
I'm a maid of honor in my cousin's wedding. So I was in a wedding. I was in a bridal party when I was like 12, but I didn't get to go to the bachelorette party or like any of that stuff. Still a great experience, but it's a little different now. And it's my cousin Alessandra. She's like my best friend in the whole world. We grew up next door to each other. So she's like my sister. And so I'm going to be her maid of honor for her fall wedding. And I'm in the middle of planning her big bachelorette party. So I'm just really excited about that. I'm extremely family oriented. So this is just something that's been on my mind constantly. And I'm so excited about.
Do you know where you're taking her for the bachelorette party yet?
So we're going to go to Wildwood and we're going to have some fun on the beach. We're even going to do like a little Jersey Shore themed party, like the MTV show. And then we might go to Cape May for some wine tasting and some other stuff. So Yeah, I've never planned a bachelorette party before, so I'm a little nervous, but I think I got this.
That'll be a lot of fun. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Giuliana. But before we let you go, we'll play a little game where we try to guess who will be featured on Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. I'm going to be honest with you, this person is tough. They're very tough, but I'm trying to give you some throwaway clues. And viewers can guess too by tweeting at Just Kristi, tweeting at Times Union, or commenting on this video on the Times Union's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. All right, so here we go. My first job was working in a deli. I've worked many additional jobs, from paper routes, loading trucks, bussing tables, climbing telephone poles, and even spent a summer working as an exterminator. But my favorite job has been in the financial roles at Capcom. Well-known person at Capcom. Our family has grown quickly in the last 2 years. I got married, 2 of our daughters got married, and our son is now engaged. We also welcomed 2 twin grandchildren for a total of 5. 6 is on the way. And the last one is, my favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, because not only is it a time for family to celebrate, but I enjoy volunteering with the Capcom Cares Foundation for our Sharing the Harvest program. Feeds Thanksgiving meals to over 400 families. Now, I don't know if maybe you've had a chance to interview this person over the years.
It's not ringing a bell. Sounds like they are a very accomplished person with a lot going on. It's very embarrassing.
Don't be embarrassed. Most people don't get it. Last week, it was Elaine Houston, and we basically spoon-fed Matt Bumgarner the clues. He didn't get it either. It's sometimes people get it, and it's a rare moment, so don't feel bad. But if anyone else wants to guess, like I said, they can tweet us or comment on this video. And thank you again. It's been great watching you. I'm so impressed that at 22, you've done so much. And like I said, everybody can catch you on weekday mornings on Channel 10 starting at 4:30.
Thank you so much, Kristi. I had so much fun.